Welcome to the Fragrance Files.
Welcome to the Fragrance Files.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is part 2 of The Invasion with Stéle.
Welcome
Hey
back.
everyone, how you doing? Welcome back.
This is our first 2-part episode, but there's just so much to cover, so thank you for sticking with us. When we were talking about kind of the standards that we make for ourselves and both as consumers and creators, what is the rarity, what is the worth of something that we want to purchase? But there's also standards around the creativity and around the branding and the marketing. I think this is an area where maybe you can give some advice to people who are aspiring. What would happen if people stopped rushing and just trusted their creative process?
It's funny. You can tell a lot of people, just stop. That's what they need to be told. And you can tell a lot of people, come on already. So it's literally there are two ways to approach it, right? There are two conversations to be had when it comes to creativity. Some people are constantly dimming their light. They're dimming who they want to be. They're trying to fit into things. And and the thing is, like, it's not wrong in a way, because I always say middle ground is a very hard category in general. When something's a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, it usually stays a little bit of everything. Now, when something has a really bold statement or is very definitive, people are able to grasp what it is and what's happening over there. They're able to see it and say, that is that. And unfortunately, we as human beings need to be able to see and define something. When you meet someone, you really want to assess, who are they? What are they? You judge them by the skin color, by their dressing, by their outfit, by everything. As much as you want to say you don't, but that's just a natural inclination. And I think with any form of creativity, right? You can expect to be judged and let your creativity be ruled by the judgments, or you could say, this is how I feel in this space. Now, again, if you can translate that, let's say your creative art and fragrances to the visual element of it, find someone who understands who you are and what you want to show. And then when they do make it, you can, go with them, go back and forth and kind of present it and put something that you really believe in. Now, that being said, you should think of strategy. You should think about how you are perceived, but you should also think of who you are and show people that. Don't be afraid of who you are. Die on your hill,
Yeah.
Don't say that I never took a fair swing and therefore I failed. Take a fair swing, take a risk, go all the way there. And then if you failed, at least you tried properly.
Yeah, I think the fine line, and I think it's a personal journey to figuring out how you as an individual creator, whatever you're doing, respond to this. But being able to negotiate the space between the idea you have in your head and getting it out, and in the sense of a product, right, versus art, which it's hard because fragrance is product and art, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to give this recommendation here or this kind of advice. But I think there's a fine line of negotiating between the idea that you have in your head and the responses that come out from the peers that you share it with before it becomes the final project, right? I think and I'm speaking from personal experience, it's hard to get lost in even the peer feedback from the people that you trust, right? Because are you just asking the people that are just going to tell you yes for the feedback? Are you asking people who are going to be super critical of you, right? I think there's probably a even mix that you can hopefully find of those friends or peers that are going to give it to you straight, and then all the people who are also going to just light you up a little bit and keep you on your path. But at the end of the day, it is something that you are creating alone, whether it's a brand of fragrance or the fragrance itself. And I think at one point you have to just decide that you're going with your gut, and you have to just trust yourself to the very end. And I think that that's the hardest part, I think, of being creative. Now, like we were talking about in the previous episode, then starts the other aspect of the creative process where you're actually going out to go and show and express that creativity that you created to people, right? The bottle, the marketing, the photo shoot, the copy, and the way that you tell the story of the fragrance. So that probably is something more that then becomes the super personal experience that the creator or the creators of the fragrance or brand would be more responsible for. And I think in that case, I would really, really spend all of your time going with the story that you want to tell and standing by it, right? I think there's so many consultants and so many people out there that can help you, guide you on your way for that. But at the end of the day, that's the story that you're going to have to tell, and you're going to have to be the representative of. So you will need to be very comfortable with it to show the authenticity.
And a lot will
of
waste
it.
your money too. So
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah, very true.
A lot of people are just.
But a lot are also very, very smart and
Yeah.
very, very valuable to people, because not everyone can do everything.
No. But I would say don't gloss over anything. That would be my biggest piece of advice. Don't gloss, and that's Matt always told me not to do it either because I'm very quick.
Right.
But don't gloss over everything. Stand on everything.
Yep.
Make sure everything is clarified. Make sure everything's right. Make sure every corner is folded. Every single piece is where you need it to be. Don't expect that this is good enough. Never take this is good enough. You shouldn't have to ask that. It should be good. If you have to ask if it's good enough, it's probably not good enough. But that's still being said. Have faith in what you've created.
Yeah.
Believe in it. It's strong. It's powerful in its creation. But there is a bar, and you have to set it high for yourself, and you have to set it high within your creative process. And everyone can, peak themselves. Everyone can, you can always grow. I mean, I see it even in the 3 years that we've been doing this. Some of the perfumer-led brands, if I saw the first thing I smelled till now, it's grown.
Yeah.
And even creative directors, you see where they've come from, things they've, creative directed, right? Where it started and how amazing it is now.
Right.
Definitely there has been an evolution when it comes to, there's an evolution that can be had when it comes to creativity. And it should be, it is very important. People are rushing to the finish line with half-baked products, and I know it's exciting to get it out there. It is really exciting to do this. It is exciting. The market will be here for you. If you're making something real, it will be here. If the world ends, it won't matter if you're here today or tomorrow, right? So make it right. Put your heart into it. Yeah. Put in the time, and if it's real, it will happen with time.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about how much we love the story behind a fragrance. But do you think that as a brand creator, should you be able to say or write exactly what your fragrance means? Or do you think it could get to a point of being obnoxious in some cases?
It's a personal choice, I think. Mm-hmm. I think everything that we do when it comes to putting yourself out there can be construed as obnoxious. And I think, I'm sure any creator, any musician, any, whatever has that one moment. I've had it a billion times where I'm just like, who is going to care about this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or like, what the hell am I doing? But then you go back and you're just like, you know what? But I want to put this out there. I want to show people this idea or this thought or something like that. And like, life is short, like if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it. So I think I'd encourage people to do what feels right for them, no matter what, right? If that's who you want to be, then maybe that's your brand. Maybe it's the most obnoxious stories you can imagine for fragrance, right? But if that's who you are and that's what comes out, that's what it is. You know what I mean? And you're going to be the best at that because that's natural to you, right? I think if you're trying to be that and you're not that, everyone will see through it. So, if you're the person who likes to write 2 sentences and that's what you thought about it, and then maybe one day when someone brings you on a podcast, or you get interviewed, or are speaking about it in private one-on-one conversation, suddenly the full idea that you had deep down inside comes out, then great, they've got a special moment, and that's the time that you've revealed that part of the story. But unfortunately and fortunately, I think, like, yeah, it's part of it. Like, obnoxious stuff is part of all. I don't know what to say.
I will say that if it's not obnoxious, I don't want it. I say my ears need to bleed when you leave the pitch. I need to not want to hear a word you have to say again. If not, you are not serious. You are not committed. You have to be annoying as fuck. Why? Because you have to believe this to death. If not, you're in the wrong fucking neighborhood.
But if you're doing that and you don't believe it, then you can see through it. So it has to just be the natural presentation of your natural expression of what you're doing.
Yeah, I think about the way there are two brands that immediately come to mind that are the polar opposites of this level of obnoxiousness and detail. Like, there is Idol. I adore them.
Yes.
I have tracelessness in my cabinet.
Yeah.
But this whole idea of post perfumery and no notes, and like, that can come off very obnoxious if you're not into that presentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's very minimal, really, in the way that comes across. But then you have a brand that's relatively new to you all, and I'm very excited to smell it, Damn Fool, where each perfume has a story. So much going on with it that, again, if you're like, well, does it smell good, you will find the story obnoxious. This link of detail.
I tend to agree. I think that we have a sense of community because we're all so obnoxious about fragrance.
I think
so if it's not obnoxious, I agree. I don't want it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because it's like we're all living our lives. We've all got all these things going on, right? Like, it is a nice escape to come and talk to people about these things and the stories that go along with them, the personal stories we have of, like, when we discovered a brand, or we were at an event with a brand, or we met a founder, you all interviewed and a founder or a perfumer. You know, like, there's just so much that goes into it beyond that part, that I think it is a nice escape to have elements and topics of these things to talk about beyond just like, oh, I love that, you know? Like, so I think it is, I think it does make it a lot more enjoyable. And I think it does give us a sense of escape from, you know, our just kind of like the more like mundane parts of our lives. I think at least it has for me and us. So
speaking of Idol, like, they back it up with everything.
Like,
if you
thought
look
it
at
through,
the packaging, the braille on the boxes,
the whole
everything
thing
is just.
It doesn't feel like an afterthought of, like, you know what, everyone really likes that. It's going back to what we were talking about in the previous episode, right? Like, it doesn't feel like a tack on. It feels natural to
it's very intentional
of the brand. It feels like an extension of the story. Yeah,
and they're from your neck of the woods, right?
West Coast.
I thought they're Detroit. No,
I think West Coast.
I have never figured out any information on them because they are very minimal.
They are very minimal. You're right.
I love that.
They're one of the first few brands that we brought in, I think, or maybe second round when we were really starting to look for things. Yeah. Still, I'm staring at them over there now.
They were one of the first brands on my first visit to Stéle that really stood out to me. And I had messaged them because I was so taken by the whole concept. And they were just incredibly kind and incredibly sweet and very, very supportive of small creators. So I have a special place in my heart for them. And not to get sappy, like, we talked about, like, feeling like this perfume is an escape. And I say this all the time, that for all intents and purposes, working a second job on top of being a mom and being a content creator, taking on a second job should feel overwhelming, but literally every time I walk into Stéle, and whether this be on a Sunday, on an evening, just to come pick something up, the space that you guys have curated is just so calming and so welcoming. And it feels like it does feel like my escape from reality every time I get to be inside those walls. And I think a lot of people in the community feel that way, because it feels like I, purposely you've designed it this way. It almost feels like a house of worship when you walk in.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's got this, I just want to commend you for being able to
Thank you
create
so
a
much.
space that feels like that and feels so welcoming, not just for me, but for so many people in the community.
It's funny when we're in the back and we hear people laughing, it kind of always makes me happy.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
you don't
It's
even
just like,
know. Yeah,
it feels like
yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
see that. I want to see people happy. I want to see people leaving with smiles. I want to see people enjoying themselves. I want to hear people like I want to hear like Cillian talk to someone for 3 hours about I don't know. And be annoyed why he's not doing something. In a way, I'm like, that's awesome.
But that's it. But I
Like,
think I've said this once, and I'll say it before. I appreciate you saying that so much. When everyone tells us that, it gives us the energy to keep going because it is a lot of work. We're not. We have obviously like a large team that's like on the sales floor and all that stuff, and just such an amazing group of people that we get to work with every single day. But we are, just kind of like the kind of sole, people who are responsible for the kind of day to day, all that stuff. So it does mean a lot when people, it resonates with people and it makes them happy because it is just, it's a lot of work, and to anyone who's opening stores or anything like that, just be prepared. It's a lot of work, but it's very, very rewarding.
Yeah.
Like it's very,
there's
very
a lot
rewarding.
of love in this community.
I don't think we would have gone this far if it had just been
no. I think if we
transactional in that sense, and obviously it is. It's a store. It's transactional.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that we have that.
A lot of good energy and connections.
Yeah.
And both I come from a corporate job. I came from different kind of job, and it's different. It's nice to be in this community of people. Like all the your whole crew, Midgie, always comes in here. I don't want to drop names, but you all know who you are.
Yeah,
it's literally like seeing. I feel like it's like family and friends. Like
we
literally sit and talk and laugh and go through things, and even like when Josh, when you visit, it's just like got to know you. It's just like you meet people that pop in. I've already seen, I've had this. It's funny. I have this like couple. They're not couple. They're two best friends. One lives in Germany and one lives across in the country. And they always meet. They met here. They met here last year, and they bought a fragrance at the Williamsburg. This year they came here again, and they bought a fragrance in the Soho store. And I just was like, I remember them, and it was just like, for me, it was like a full circle. Like, this is the second time we're doing this already. And to just have that experience with both of them. And I told them, as cheesy as it is, you guys should call each other. And when you're in Germany and she's over there, just spray it at the same time. But I know it's totally cheesy, but I don't know. It would make me happy. It would make me happy.
Not to be the Barbara Walters here, but as we talk about the love of the art form and the community, at what point does working in perfume stop being romantic and start feeling like a responsibility?
Oof, that's a great question.
I mean, it's funny. I always say sometimes it's just work.
You know what? The tariffs.
The tariffs are not fun.
Tariffs.
Fair.
Packages getting lost, it's like that kind of like mundane. I know there should be a more exciting answer to this, right? But the tariffs, the admin of things, and I guess we're really lucky. I think that like our customers, whether it's like our kind of more friend customers that we see on a regular, or just people who happen to pass by, are very, very understanding about all that. And luckily we've never been like necessarily like thrown to the wall for like those types of things. I think people appreciate it. But yeah, just like the tariffs was a huge bummer because we're like global like we're going to find stuff. We're just finding stuff from everywhere. And then boom, I'm just like, what is this? Like, how do we do this? And like,
I spend hours a week on the phone.
like,
That's my job.
I think the most that part is hearing Jake on the phone with, because I do a lot of other things and all that, but with that, I'm just like, I just don't care, you know, like, so like, yeah, maybe that's it. The hearing Jake on the phone trying to figure out the tariffs.
It's painful. And I do it before any of the any of the employees are in the store, because no one wants to hear that. And like, you know, like, unfortunately, like with that, this is like the most boring kind of thing, but to cut it short, like, all of we went through, unfortunately, like a lot of waves of all that, and like everyone was just trying to figure it out as they were going along, so you couldn't even be mad at anyone, you know, because this, like, the rules and all that were changing on a daily basis. So sure. The tariffs of it all, I guess. Yeah, money management's hard.
Yeah,
you need to learn how to manage your money. That part,
you know,
at the end of the day, it all comes down to dollars. And
we really want people to have a great experience, and you know, so I guess that part I think is a little bit difficult to find the balance, and I've told this to a lot of people, to find the balance between the ultimate experience that a customer will want and the most accurate, like, representation of a product that people are walking out, spending sometimes a lot of money on. So I don't know. If anyone figures out the right solution.
I had somebody really, in a very catty way, one day ask me or pass a comment like, wow, they're really working you to the bone, making you spray all those perfumes every day, because I had posted a video of me setting up the store in the morning.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I actually love that part. Like, it's one of my favorite parts of the day. Like, last week I sprayed every single one myself, and I loved it because I'm like, I got reacquainted with things that I hadn't sprayed in a while, and I honestly found the whole thing kind of relaxing. So.
Yeah, I like it. I really enjoy it. As much as it makes me sneeze, because I want to smell each one, you know, because there's so many, you don't have that. Some of them you have like such, and this is an interesting with fragrance. I think there's certain fragrances that I think y'all will probably resonate with this too, where you have that like photographic memory of you. I could describe you exactly what it smells like just like, you know, like I can smell it just like thinking of the name. Yeah. And then other ones where I do have to like remind myself of it. And so when we're the ones responsible for like guiding people around, it's good to have that refresher. But yeah.
Yeah, and I like rediscover things sometimes that I maybe didn't really didn't stand out to me the first time. Like, I just this past Sunday when I was spraying through everything, I think I was so taken by Sunny 7 from A Nude, and so hopelessly in love with that fragrance that I don't know if I really gave the other two my full attention. Yeah. And I resmelled Deep Dive this Sunday, and I was like, wait a minute, this is phenomenal. Yeah. And Thorny, what's the number for Thorny? Thorny 6. There you go. Yeah. Like, also absolutely incredible. So it's you know, we're also kind of rediscovering all the time as well.
That's why I always say I've never seen a fragrance I did not like, and I mean it. Yeah. If you spend time with it and give it a chance, or wait another day, wait another week, you may like it. I think there is definitely a caught up situation with fragrances. I feel like a little bit too much people are too hard. They judge it too hard. They need to understand it too much. They use their heads too much. They kind of like, there's too much thinking involved. You know, scent memory, any scent memory that was developed was not developed through thought. It was developed through an emotional connection to that scent, or a traumatic experience when you smelt that scent. So it has nothing to do with thought. And I see people always like spending a lot of time with it. I'm like, just give it a chance. Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance. You know what I mean? And, you know, this skin chemistry is true, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to smell good after you sweat in it for 3 hours. So keep it in mind too. Like, you know what I mean? It's part of it. Spray more, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Nobody could have ever told me at the beginning of my fragrance journey that I would love mushroom and dirt perfumes.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Love mushroom and dirt. So you've talked a little bit about, you know, the brands that you work with and given some advice on your perspective in the industry. you've also talked about your commitment to your customers and to the people who come into the stores. Who do you feel most accountable? Well, what do you feel most accountable to? The brands, the customers, or the culture itself?
I just always want to do better in whatever I do for myself. To be honest with you, it's going to be very selfish about it. I just, yeah, whatever I put out there or create, or whatever we choose or whatever, I always want to do, like, not even one up myself, but just like, every time just a little bit better, every time just a little bit better. So I feel like, first of all, we owe it to ourselves, because we've now at this point, 3 years in, like, we've devoted our lives to this. It's not just a side hustle or whatever anymore. Like this, we've gone all in on it. However, the second after that, which I think is still us, but I really truly believe that Stéle has taken a life on its own, and I know that, like, we are the representatives, but I truly believe it's an entity that exists beyond us. I don't know if that sounds like too like out there or whatever, but I truly believe it does seem to kind of mean a lot more than just like beyond the two of us. So I feel like we owe it to Stéle at this point, everything that we do, because it does mean a lot to everyone. And it means a lot to us. I mean, it's been our lives. So yeah, I would say myself and Stéle.
Yeah, but it's definitely the culture, the creators, the
Absolutely.
founders, the perfumers, the people who support us, the people who don't support us, the community, everything. Yeah. It's everything. I feel like a lot of us are here for it, especially when you talk about this, the 4 people in this room, technical room is very much into all of it. We hold it dearly, and therefore we will sometimes come off a little rough or tough.
Yeah.
As one would with something that they really care about. If we didn't care about it, we probably would be like, fuck it. But we do care about it. And I think there's a lot of people that care about this industry, even the ones that we maybe don't see eye to eye with. They could have done what they're doing in a different industry, but they're not. Yeah. There's a certain, even when you look at a certain category of people that you may not want in the space, but they're here for what they want. They believe in this in their own right, and they have a right to believe in this, and they have a right to act in it. And you just hope that everyone does the right thing and the best that they can for everyone. That's it.
Yeah.
In your view, what does it mean to be a piece of modern perfume culture right now?
It's a really good question. One that probably has many answers. Like I've said, there's many parts to everything. Mm-hmm. But I would say one of the biggest parts is definitely community.
Yeah.
I feel like the community is playing a very big role.
Yeah. I don't think we'd be here without. I don't think we'd be at the level we are at, whatever level we're at, right? Like without it. Yeah. Like I said before, like people gave us so much life from the very beginning. Like the brand partners, the customers, the people visiting the store, the people who wanted to work at the store and have been part of our family. Like it's like, giving us a lot of life.
The fragrance as escapism, as we talk about it, it started with people maybe looking into something that was not there, or maybe was there but was not highlighted, and now it's become the primary. People are finding themselves in a lot of these creations, and I think so too is in the space itself. People are coming to the space to have community, have connections, talk about something that everyone enjoys.
A shared
topic,
interest.
Their perfumeries are becoming slight community centers, and you see outside of that, you also see activities that come. You have the fragrance swaps, which are amazing. You have different meet and greets that happen, different meet the perfumers that are happening inside of different kind of build outs. You have the tours, and there's so much.
And also like perfumers and brands that are meeting, and you see then like months down the line the fruits of that that work and those partnerships and stuff too, which is really cool to see.
I think ultimately, if you wanted to be part of modern perfumery, it's more than just releasing something to sell it. It is about creating something that means something to people. And that can even happen in a mass market situation. There are larger brands that manage to connect with people because they try to connect with people. And I think in order to be part of modern perfumery, you have to talk to people. You have to talk to people's hearts. And there's many ways to do it, whether it's the materials, the creation, the scents, the stories. It doesn't have to be small. It doesn't have to be full of fluff. It can even be in a broy way. It can even be in a story. It could be in a story way. It could be in an emotional way. There are many versions to this, but as long as you're connecting with people on more than just a base level, I think if you look at old ads, old perfume ads, it's just like sex and going
which
to
I love, by the way.
and panty dropping and all this stuff. Now
90s ads, the 90s
ads,
the vintage ones,
and that's fine, but that doesn't. Today, that's not what people are looking at as perfume. They're looking at more is this my personality? And people want more of a personality than I just want to get laid. And I think it kind of shows in the work that really resonates with the community says something. It has to say something.
Yeah, and that's what we've noticed.
And if you're doing that, you're part of it.
As we turn towards kind of the closing of our time together, one of the things that the through line here was that niche was interesting. Mm-hmm. And then private equity killed that. Yeah. And I think we all feel and see the pressure and the blood in the water that the same could happen to this space if we aren't good stewards of it.
Yep. No, very true. And I think that we all have a responsibility. And I say all of us, it's all of us because it will take all of us. And I guarantee you this, and I will stake everything on it. You will not like what this becomes if we don't stop it. You will not like it. All you need to do is to know what it's going to look like is walk into any mainstream perfumery and look around and ask yourself, do you want to spend $500 on a $7 bottle? Ask yourself that again and again, because that's what you'll all be doing once they get rid of this. And this is something that they've been doing forever. Anything that looks good, once it starts taking hold of the marketplace, they walk in and they buy it up. They buy it up. With any industry. With any industry. Yeah. And then they basically tank it and ruin it. This is what they do with everything. And this is what they'll do with this. Now, there's a simple way for us to do this. There's a responsibility for the brands. And I say responsibility for the brands is work with independent perfumeries. If you took the marketplace nationally, it would be in the high millions. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I would say if I would have to guess, it'd be 30 to 40 to $50 million. If you're talking about the independent perfumery marketplace, work with them, find them.
There's a lot more than we realize. Yeah, there's so many more than we realize. Even us, we
learn of a new one every day.
We learn of a new one every day that has been around for a period of time longer than just like they didn't just come out, so it's very interesting. There's a lot more out there than we realize, and I think it's very important.
And as far as consumers, support independent perfumeries, support independent brands, support their D2C, support can be a disco set. That is fine. A sample is support. I know it doesn't seem like much, but to that person, it's another reassurance to go on another day. Yeah. To the person running that brand, they're like, someone believed in me to give them $10. That means something to them, to everyone. And we have to keep on doing that. And then when you talk, let's just say about perfumeries, it's be responsible, be mindful. Like, a lot of times we'll be pitched by a brand and I'll be like, but you're right down the block. Like, I don't know that I want to do this to, let's just say, said place hard. That I know the guy or I have a passing relationship with them, but I don't want to go ahead and do that. And I think that we have to be responsible for each other. Obviously, it's a marketplace. It's fine. Also, some brands can handle being in a bunch of stores. They have the momentum to kind of make it happen.
Yeah.
But we all have to be like, we all have to, there's enough out there for everyone to make this work and to kind of have a viable path forward. And I think that as a concerted effort, we can retain this marketplace. We built this marketplace. So I'm saying the community has built this marketplace. There's obviously something that they want to take over, right? So if we built it, we can continue it and we can grow it. So I say, as a community, we should embrace it. We should love it. We should hold it. We should nurture it. Content creators such as yourselves, who and many others that we know are doing such an important job. They are. Every time I go on TikTok, I know I have a lot to say about it, but I also see a different creator promoting some random brand they found, and sometimes I think like, people say that to me, I'm like, where the hell did you find these guys? I love it. Mitchie, I was always impressed by you that you bought, before you worked here, you bought these random brands to talk about, which bring you no clout. They have less followers than you do.
Yeah.
But that's what it should be about. You loved it and you're like, I'm going to talk about it.
But that's also why people resonate with it, because it's coming from a real place. And that's kind of like also, I hope, is what Stéle brings to the table as a brand itself, but also the people that we partner with and the people that are in our store and the people that hopefully are attracted to our stores, that they're all coming from that an authentic place.
But I will say one more thing: creators, the content creators, collect your coins, get your money from those people. But for every brand you support an indie brand. The coffee shop, they give you the fancy coffee shops. They give you the coffee and they give you the cup of water.
Yeah.
For every cup of coffee, get your cup of water. You know what I mean? Like, I was like but you know what I mean? Like you did. You got to make the money. Make the money. Take the money.
The lights have to stay on.
Lights have to stay on. And I also to one more point, which I know is not on not talk about, but shiny object syndrome. Get rid of it. Forget about it. I hate that fucking thing. In fact, like Mitchie knows, I'm like, okay, they're too popular. We need to cut them. No, no, not really, but kind of.
Not really.
I hate a shiny object syndrome. I hate it. Like, stop chasing the one.
When did we all stop becoming alt and picking the thing that nobody liked?
I mean, that's always been me.
I still think it's fun to pick the thing that nobody liked. I don't know what to tell you. It's still my brand. I don't know what to tell you.
But you can see it so much in like fashion too, and like the evolution of the Instagram face, where like everyone has started looking the same and dressing exactly the same, and it's. I don't know. I need to understand the psychology behind it, because it's like, okay, yes, somebody can be beautiful, but why do you need to be beautiful in the exact same way somebody else is beautiful?
So typically our closing ritual has been to talk about what we're wearing. Feels a little bit like you would be picking your favorites. So maybe what's something you hope when someone leaves Stéle lingers with them more than just their purchase?
I mean, I think it's kind of like what we talked about throughout. Like, I hope they feel really happy when they leave, whether they purchased or not, whether they found something there or not. I hope that they feel like they got a fun moment, and I hope it felt like kind of 360, and that's like the whole experience was great. And I hope that they maybe discovered something new and got excited by that. And maybe it inspired them in their lives, whether that's directly related to the fragrance or just like experiencing something artistic, inspired something in them that is like, something they want to create or something they want to do that maybe they haven't, or something like that. I think that's mine.
I hope they leave with a fragrance. Right. The one. But ultimately, I do hope that they leave with a warm and fuzzy feeling, like Matt said. That is like such a key for us. We like for people to walk out with a smile. We like for people to have discovered. We like for people to stretch their thinking. I always love it when the least expected person. I remember like when I started working in when I was working in Williamsburg. I remember I had like a grandma with her grandchildren. The grandchildren were teenagers. And I my shock was that the grandma bought Neanderthal and the teenagers bought like Lease or something. And I was just like, this grandma is a rocker, clearly. You know what I mean?
You love that.
You know, I can't remember what the kids bought at the store at school. It was good, but it was not Neanderthal. You know what I mean? You just don't expect. But I would say this: when you remove all the decision to it, and people are just guided by their thought, by their nose, right? When you do all the thinking and all the noise and all the stuff, if you were just walking around and everything's presented equally and everything has a beautiful arrangement and everything is available equally, not as a something to be sold or pushed or no one's chasing a specific thing, you know, you don't know where you're going to end up, and that's the beauty of it. And Josh, like I'll say, like with the weekend you visited, you ended up in so many different angles that weekend. Like I couldn't build a profile for you from that weekend. You know what I mean? I would say it would be on the adventurous side, but you also like sometimes just neat, you know, and then sometimes you'll go for the, you know, Prophet Elijah, you know what I mean? Like it's you know, we love for Noah, but you know what I mean? It's not more, you know, there are more direct paths, and then you'll end up there, and I love that.
What's one thing you hope never becomes a trend in perfume?
I think this is already a trend, but I hope that people don't buy things just because everybody else likes it. I guess, you know, we've said this before and all that, and it's repetitive, but for me, I hope that people find something that truly makes them feel whatever they were looking to feel out of that purchase, right? Whether it's like, you know, going through a breakup and want like to become a completely different person, or just like wants to just feel good before they go to bed and feel like nice and cozy, whatever. Like I love putting on fragrance before I go to bed, like just feel cozy. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like, I hope that no one feels pressured to get something just because everybody else liked it. And they find, because there's so many of them. So I would hope that you wouldn't feel pressured to buy one that somebody else liked, but you really love that other one over there and you were like too worried to get it. I would hope that it never becomes a trend to just get, although I think it's already a trend. So I don't know. You stumped us. I don't know. I just talked myself out of the whole thing. So I don't know. Maybe you can come up with one.
No, I can't. I can't really, because I would say, unfortunately, like every space that has a lot of money in it, and this one being one that is quite big in its economic, you know, impact. There's always a lot of bad parts. There's always a lot of parts that are not good and are very financially driven. And again, not necessarily a bad thing, but just a reality of how this cake is made. You know, what we want to see less of, right, is maybe less chasing, less shiny object syndrome, less getting something because you were told to get it, less, you know, more discovery, more exploration, more just trying things, more believing in yourself, less of the, you know, the chase is something that very much concerns me in this industry and will lead to it will lead to a self-destruction at the end of the day. If we continue chasing what we're told to buy, we will end up with kind of a lot of pump and dumps, and there is no real substantial future in that at the end of the day. And I think that's how the niche space got kind of killed, because people did get fatigue. You know, oh, I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to get that, I need to get this, I need to get that. It's just like this constant and it did kill niche, and I wish it does not kill us. And I definitely think that there are bad actors that are trying to make that in play, because it does make them very financially, you know, it rewards financially, and that may be good for them, but I think ultimately it will result in a lot of fatigue in the business, in the industry, and a lot of people will leave. They will leave, and at the end of the day, that is not good for the overall trajectory of everything. You know, we don't want fatigue. We want intention. We want interest. We want curiosity. We want exploration. We want, you know, people trying to break out of themselves. and the chase is really bad. And there is, if you look closely, you can see the institutionalized effort to keep it going.
I saw your eyes light up when I mentioned what our closing ritual usually is, so I would be remiss not to go ahead and say let's do it. What is a fragrance that you have been loving lately?
Right here, love this one. This is Sechu, and I think this one we just got this. So I'm still rough on the names. This is Friday Night, yeah, and it
Friday
is
night.
basically it has a serial accord, and it also has so there it is. It's called tatami, and a tatami I guess is like a sleeping mat, but it really means like hitting the hay after a night out. So it has a tatami accord, and it's basically like a sex mat, but it's not a sex mat, but I'm calling it a sex mat. But yeah. It's like Friday 2 a.m. getting home after. It's their most sensual scent. It's got a tatami delight accord, a blue chamomile cereal accord. I guess that's for when you wake up and have cereal. I mean, I don't know. If I'm getting home 2 a.m., I'm not getting up and having cereal. But for a balsam, cypress, sandalwood, whatever. I love this one. In general, I'm loving this house.
I love that bottle, and that sounds like a great fragrance.
Yeah.
They're all very, it's funny, they're all very airy and bright, but they're absolutely well done and much more creative when you look closer. Yeah, they're awesome.
Okay, everybody knows me for always saying Forbidden Bloom by Mabella Rama. I just love that fragrance so much, but I'm coming up with something different today, which is Arabian Jasmine. Oh, wait. Arabian Jasmine by Amr. Amr's not going to autofocus. I really have been loving this one. Everyone always makes jasmine a little bit more like tobacco-y, dirty kind of vibe, and this one's really, really just very authentic to what I imagine in my mind as like walking by jasmine and all that. So yeah, this is
Amr. I would say nobody does florals.
Nobody does. We looked so long for it, and there's so many beautiful like floral fragrances out there. But for what I particularly was like looking for of what I love to grow flowers and like do all that. So this is just really a favorite of mine.
Yeah, that one and the gardenia.
Oh yeah, the
gardenia. So good. Yeah, just so really, really beautiful.
I didn't even know what gardenia smelled like, but I love it.
Just like a really interesting perspective on those types of florals that I feel like just like resonated with me.
I wore the Nibiru Alma de Cuba.
Yes. Oh my god! I love
my god! So this one, I mean, there are several in this house that were truly challenging for me.
Yeah.
And so I did not expect to love this one as much as I do, but it's so just enveloping. I mean, it's vanilla and tobacco and saffron and clove, and it just feels so. It feels like a really big bear hug in a fragrance.
It's it makes me happy a lot.
Josh, you would like vetivaris in this house.
Yeah,
you would love it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you should get a sample. I think we have it.
I think so. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I wore 2 today. I started the day with Poe by Arquiste. It is one of my favorite skin musks. I really love the way it dries down into that like ambergris, dirty marble feeling to me. And then as we started our conversation and into the night, I'm wearing Fleur Abstraiate by Witch.
That's a really, really
so
beautiful.
Good.
Yeah, I usually am not a jasmine person. White florals are tough for me, but that like the tea and the musk is a really lovely compliment to what lingered from Poe.
Yeah, it's very like light, but once you like get into it, there's a lot of layers to it, which I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did you layer the two? I guess a little bit, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I wore Poe at like 10 a.m. and now we're 10 hours later. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us for so long. It was really amazing to sit here and go over all this with you. And I love you guys so much.
Thank you so much. We love you guys. Thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity to let us chat for 2 hours about our thoughts.
Hope you don't all hate us up.
Yeah, I hope everybody still is excited about Stéle afterward. But
for our audience, if you've ever purchased anything from Stéle, let us know. Let us know if you've ever visited Stéle and
please.
what you love.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you next
All right.
time.
Bye.
Bye.